This is Minutes of Horror Stories episode 13, Dead Ringer. Melissa had been living in her new apartment for 3 weeks. The place was cozy, tucked away on the 3rd floor of an older building, quiet and peaceful. She liked the solitude, and everything seemed perfect until the phone started ringing. It was always the same time, 2:17 a.m. Always the same number, blocked. Always the same sound, breathing. No words, just slow, deliberate, listening breath. First, she thought it was a mistake, some glitch in her phone. Maybe a wrong number or someone dialing in the middle of the night. But it kept happening, night after night. Each time, the same thing. The breath on the other end of the line, never hanging up, always just waiting. She told herself it was a prank. Someone who had her number, someone who thought it would be funny. But as the calls continued, she began to feel the pit of dread settle in her stomach. She stopped answering. She even turned her phone on silent, but still the calls came. And then came the knocking. Started out soft. A single knock, just enough to make her freeze in place. She told herself it was probably someone on the other side of the wall. Maybe the neighbor's door. But it didn't stop. The knocking would come at random times. Sometimes 2 in the morning, sometimes 3, always unsettlingly rhythmic. 3 knocks, then silence. Sometimes she'd rush to the door and look through the peephole, but no one was there. Every time, her anxiety grew. She called the building manager, told him about the strange noises, the late-night calls, the knocking. He didn't seem too concerned, but he promised to check the security footage. The next day, he called her into his office. His face was pale, his voice quiet. "Melissa, there's no one there," he said, but he seemed troubled. "But there's something strange. Every night at 2:17 a.m., your hallway light turns off. Just yours. Like someone unscrewed the bulb, but we can't see who." Melissa's heart sank. Her hallway light wasn't even on a timer. It was something that required a switch. Someone was messing with it. It was then she realized how much worse things had become. It wasn't just the calls. It was something deliberate. Someone was watching her. Desperate, Melissa decided to install her own camera in the hallway. She didn't want to feel paranoid, but she couldn't take it anymore. If she could catch whoever was behind this, she might finally get some peace. That night, she stayed up, watched the clock tick past midnight, then 2 a.m., then 2:15. Her phone vibrated at 2:17. She ignored it. The call came again. The same breathing. Then silence. She glanced at the hallway camera. 2:17 a.m. The light flickered. The screen went black for a second. She gasped and scrambled to check the footage. When the camera came back on, she saw something she couldn't explain. The hallway light was off, and her camera? It was no longer facing the door. It was turned, as if someone had physically moved it. The lens was now facing the floor, looking up at her door from a crouching position. She replayed the footage. There was one frame, just one, of an eye. It was wide open, unblinking, staring directly into the lens of the camera. She froze. Her pulse pounded in her ears. The phone started ringing again, but she couldn't move. She grabbed her things and left the apartment the next morning. The police couldn't trace the number. They never found anyone responsible. But the camera footage stayed in her mind. The eye, the unblinking stare, the silent breathing. Melissa never returned to that apartment. For weeks, she still wakes up at 2:17 a.m., her heart racing, waiting to hear that breathing again. But now she listens, every night, just in case. Subscribe your channel, and be safe.